Alright, everybody, so welcome back for Session 3 of our Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus campaign. Last session, you all surveyed what remained of El Terrell. The city had just recently been pulled down into Avernus, blasts of heat and just waves of destruction emanating out from the spot, before all that was left of the city was a smoldering crater and fine-cut lines, almost in a perfect circle, surrounding the spot. You all quickly gathered yourselves and began doing what you could to help any survivors, going about and helping whoever you could. You all got in touch with Rhea Manselmorn, and she was able to organize some of the remaining Hell Riders, a pair of which were able to make it back to the city and were not in the city when it went down. We were able to find out that several, or actually all of the Hell Riders in the area had just been called into the city on urgent business mere hours before the city was dragged down into the first layer of the Nine Hells. You all decided to ride out ahead, get as fast as you could, and ride towards Baldur's Gate for multiple reasons: to warn them about what just had happened, and to try to get them ready for the refugee crisis that was soon to be crashing against the walls of the city. Thousands of people suddenly displaced and now fleeing towards what they perceived as the safety of Baldur's Gate and its high walls and standing armies. So, riding through there, you first stopped off at a guard post, one of the outlying Hell Rider outposts, to resupply and kind of make sure that it was safe for the refugees led by Rhea and the remaining two Hell Riders that would soon be arriving. After that, you all continued your hard ride westward towards Baldur's Gate, driving yourselves and your horses near to the breaking point before finally arriving at the Flannery Farm, a tavern and homestead that was a common rest stop between El Terrell and Baldur's Gate. Several of you having been already acquainted with Old Man Flannery, the barkeep and owner of the place. When you first arrived, it was pretty obvious right away that things were not quite right there. There were undead piled outside, seemingly struck down by Flannery himself. And when you all entered into the bar, Flannery immediately opened fire on you all, shouting about undead assailants. You were able to calm him down, and he was more than gracious to accept the company for the evening. And rightfully so, because later on that same night, the Fields of the Dead began to divulge their namesake onto you all. Zombies, skeletons, and one armored former soldier of some long-forgotten army all swarmed into Flannery's alehouse. You all were narrowly able to defeat all of these undead and their armored leader, and that is where we pick up now. You all are still at Flannery's farm. Things have just calmed down, and we are just now meeting back up with you all as the combat winds down.
Ow.
Right.
I would like to retrieve both my hand axe and the expended crossbow bolt that I had.
Sounds good.
Assuming the crossbow bolt's in working order.
Yeah, the crossbow should be in working order.
Okay. I know sometimes it says if you expend ammo, only so much survives, so...
How many shots did you take?
One.
Just one? Roll a D2. On a low roll, it broke. Or anything with anything, and pick a half the number range.
I'll roll D4 and we'll say evens it's good, odds it's bad.
Sounds good. Your bolt did break.
Okay, it broke. Okay.
So for anyone else that wants to track ammo, you're more than welcome to. I don't require it, but I do understand that it adds a little bit more micromanagement, which some people enjoy. So by all means, feel free to do so, and we will track your ammo.
So I imagine that a battle did not help me with my level of exhaustion?
No, most certainly did not.
This looks like a nice table.
Winnie's gonna go back behind the bar and look for hard liquor instead of ale, and pour everybody a cup.
Flannery
and,
says, no, put that stuff back. Top shelf. 3 over on the left. Get the good stuff.
Winnie grabs the good stuff from the top left. As Flannery directs, she pours herself and Anna very large glasses, as well as Flannery.
Put a straw in mine, please.
She finds a straw and a little umbrella and gives it to Anna.
Bless
No
you.
151 for her, so it doesn't burst into flames in her face.
And just slumps over by the fire again.
We're starting off swimmingly.
Flannery slumped in his chair, his prosthetic leg hanging in one hand. Well, I'm certainly glad you all were here. That would have been real dicey. I, of course, could have handled it, but, you know, would have kept me a little bit longer. Been a long night.
Do you think that's going to be the last of them for the night?
It's hard to say, but if there's more of y'all coming from behind, like you said, should have more backup for tomorrow night.
Is there anything of value on any of the corpses?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Investigation.
Nah, everything looks old, beaten up, rusted, nasty.
I was hoping for
Looks like
like
it's
a
been-
ring or something.
Underground for a long time.
Hey, Flannery, what are we gonna do about the door? And I just point over to the door that's been slammed in and is now wide open.
Ugh.
This table is probably the right size, but you're gonna have to move me off it.
In the morning.
I turn my chair that's facing the fire and face it at the door instead, watching.
Tiberius will attempt to at least move one of the other tables, or can kind of at least semi-barricade the door.
Alright.
We could always find another building that's not already broken up and perhaps an inn that has beds already or something in town.
Well, this is the farmstead. This is like a little isolated farmstead situated
Oh,
between
yeah,
Ellsworth and
farmstead.
Baldur's Gate. So.
Yeah. This is
I had a small couple of buildings with an inn thing in mind.
There's like a barn and Flannery's house, which is like a tiny little shack with a room and a bed.
Oh man, and then a bar.
And then a bar, yeah.
Sounds like small town.
I mean,
Wisconsin.
there is an inn upstairs. There is an upstairs with rooms and beds and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ferris is gonna go lay in one of those beds after asking.
I hope they didn't.
Flannery, of course.
Oh, Flannery would totally say that they're on the house tonight.
I hope they didn't eat the horses. I do not want to walk to Baldur's Gate.
Say that.
Flannery would
put
be
that
like,
on there.
ghouls! Ghouls eat the things.
I feel like I know that and forgot.
Skeletons, for the most part, lack the digestive capability.
Precisely.
Then why were they trying to eat us?
Oh, they were just trying to kill us.
Yeah,
That's like asking why dogs
simple
bark.
murder. Alright, everybody. So you can all go ahead and take the benefits of a long rest.
Bless you.
Anna, that will remove 1 level of exhaustion from you.
Hooray.
Hooray!
I also had a level of exhaustion. It's nice to not have that anymore.
Yep, anybody that had one does lose a level. I don't think anybody got to 2 levels, right?
Mm-mm. I think it was just 1 for some people.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, everybody. Oh, and just as a point of order, I'm not sure if I mentioned it during Session 0 or not, but this is a low magic item game. I run the Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus pretty close to how the book recommends it to keep balancing good. So just a heads up, the magic items are few and far between, and they are like in like I don't want to give anything away, but they're in weird spots, y'all. So keep your eyes open and be ready for that. And I've literally had characters get all the way to level 7 before they got their first actual magic weapon. So just be ready for stuff like that. It is possible to get them earlier, but it's a very low magic game. So just a bit of a heads up there. So
I'm just gonna assume there's no magic lances in the campaign.
Lucky
We have
for
an
you,
artificer.
I'm a loot goblin.
Hmm?
Oh, I said I'm a loot goblin, and I'm gonna search all the things for yours.
Yeah, we're gonna spend an hour after every single encounter searching everything.
Right. But yeah, and
Check out his boots.
check out his boots.
Speaking of it being morning, I'm gonna choose for my infusions. Where did they go? Where did they go?
No.
I'm gonna do.
If I recall right, I believe with infusions you get the 4 you select, and you basically, at the start of the morning, you pick 2 that you have powered up, and you can, throughout the day, pick a other one, but you have to end one of those 2 to start another one up.
Okay.
Yep, thank you,
I
Hank.
think it's only on long rests you can switch them.
Yeah, well, yeah. But
Yeah, like you know 4, and you can pick 2 to actually.
Yeah, I've got my 4 here. I just couldn't find where they were real quick. I'm gonna do enhanced arcane focus on my staff, and then can't do homunculus servant yet. So, who wants an enhanced shield?
That is a really good way to get magic items in a game that does not normally have magic items.
Loopholes.
Loopholes indeed.
You want to? Are we gonna do Bucky again, or does Hank want it, or Tiberius?
I'm okay with Bucky having it.
I won't say no.
I won't say no, right?
Just because I do have that second one feature I can hit, which kind of does a little bit of restorative healing stuff if I need it.
All right, then Bucky it is. You get your enhanced shield until
Ooh, thank you.
further notice.
Fancy.
Let me just figure out how to do that.
Out back or like outside in just like a little spot and meditating very like peacefully with her longsword katana like across her lap.
I got a question about the enhanced things. So when we roll for whatever that, for example, like for his AC, and you roll, is that something that we just have to know, or is there somewhere? Do I have to click on something for any of that, or?
I modified my shield, so it's actually tracked to my character sheet.
Okay. And then how would I do that for like since I enhanced my staff and I get +1 to
There's a way to do it.
If there's any
spell attack rolls?
Anything you can go in and like just do an additional +1 if you open up each of your attacks in the character sheet. If you feel
Oh no
like
no
it.
no! You can do it if you hit the cog. You can set your like base.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that'll affect the entire sheet. You won't have to do each individual ability.
Okay.
Oh, you mean like from the main settings page? You want to do like a global modifier is what you're talking about.
I think that'd be the easiest way to do it. No.
That would do it to everything though, not just one weapon.
There isn't something I can do to where it's to +1 to my spell.
Well, yeah, no. The arcane focus is all.
Oh! I thought he enchanted weapon. Yep. Okay. Then you're right. Then that is accurate. We want a global modifier for that. And show global attack modifier. Show global damage modifier. So I just turned on a couple things on your core sheet. D. Go ahead and head back to your core section.
All right.
And now you should see a couple. Yep. Down at the bottom, there's 2 new ones that say global attack modifier, global damage modifier. You can turn those on and just call them infusion. Oh, I am misunderstanding what's going on here. You get a +1 bonus to all of your stuff, right?
All my spell
All your spell attack
rolls.
and spell. Okay. Does that go to your spell
where'd
save
it go?
DC as well?
Nope. Just
Okay.
attacks.
Just attacks.
All inside on the creature gains +1. Whoa.
Sorry, that's me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it gets a +1 to spell attack rolls. In addition, the creature ignores half cover when making a spell attack. And then increase +2 once it reaches 10th level. Okay. So yeah, just to my attack rolls.
Okay. Sorry, Hank. Did you have or Hank or Austin? Did you know of a way to do that so it just adds a +1 to his attack and damage rolls?
It's a staff. I would just get a +1 staff out of the.
That's what I was
inventory and
thinking
put it
too.
in.
Just pull in a +1 Wand of the War Mage or something, and that'll augment his stats. But I was wondering if there was a more efficient way to do it, or a more original.
That's what I do.
It's either the +1 staff, or you'd have to go and just adjust your settings.
Okay.
But that's harder to turn off.
Yeah, so we're just gonna try to remember that there's a +1 to all my attack rolls when I use a spell. We'll just do that and make it easy.
Yeah. Well, it may depend. Like, if it's an infusion you're planning on keeping, which, since you said you're planning on going artillerist, you might. Sometimes.
Global modifier.
Yeah, then in that case, global modifier of some sort might make more sense, as long as it doesn't affect the saving throws or things of that nature.
Yeah, I tried to turn on the global attack and damage modifiers, and instead of just doing 1, it tried to do a D4. So maybe we could do it this way. As a D, I'm going to mess with your sheet just a little bit more here. So attack, damage. If this takes much longer, we'll just move on and you can just add +1 to whatever you do.
Yeah.
We'll just yell +1 every time you cast a spell.
So under global attack, could you just do a +1 instead?
That's what I was thinking. It asks for a roll, but if I just have that be a 1, it will just roll a 1 every time, right?
1d1.
So turn them both on. Cast a spell, D. Cast a cantrip.
Where did they go? We'll do it this way because I'm drawing a blank here.
Yeah.
There's the +1.
+1.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
We did it!
We did
Hey.
Go
it.
team.
Bravissimo.
All right, I'll stop fucking around with your sheet. I'm sorry.
I'm not even entirely sure what
Right.
you did. Oh, I think I see it now. But yeah. All right.
I just turned on two global modifier fields. So when you activate them, you just got to click the little checkboxes next to them, and when they're off, you just unclick them.
Oh.
Okay.
You go, oh.
They're really handy.
Is that the group token? I have a group token. It's right there.
Oh, I just pulled her out for long rest stuff and.
You guys are
Sorry.
actually more like right there.
Sweet.
Well, all right, everybody. I like that GIF, by the way. It's cute.
Thank you.
It's trippy. All right. Okay, everybody. Is there anything else that you all would like to do at the Flannery Farm? With that in mind, you actually all
think
can
we're trading our
see
horses out.
dust plume to the east, indicating that Rhea and her entourage are probably about 5 or 6 hours behind you currently.
I think the only other thing is I'd like to leave him with just a letter noting like the service he's doing for the city, feeding all these refugees as they pass through.
Okay.
I don't know if it's actually going to be worth anything with the city gone, but hopefully one day it will be.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything that they'd like to do at Flannery's before you all depart?
Find magic items.
All right. Nope, this isn't one of my homebrews where I literally just hurl magic items at you the whole time. I have balancing to consider. All right.
I just said that because you were like, oh, they're in weird places. Like
Right.
on the top shelf of this bar cabinet.
I checked the bar.
I checked the bar.
The old man's leg. It's the old man's leg.
Oh, good luck.
Dumping out all the bottles. What else is in these?
Congrats, you've made us more paranoid for loot.
Well,
Okay.
I can't think of anything else to do, so I suppose the next thing would be just to everyone to mount up.
I do think that probably before we mounted up, that Anna would be probably doing her a prayer or something.
Okay.
Sune's blessing, whatever that means.
Okay.
I know she burnt it into the ground outside of El Terrell, so maybe she just puts it in the side of the house.
Okay. Roll a d100, please.
Cool. Nothing bad ever happens when I do this.
No, of course not. Okay. Nothing happens.
Okay,
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Great. Okay.
That you know of.
That you know.
Remember.
Oh, that is a
that
really
does the
interesting thing about Pathfinder. That there is actually secret roles that the DM rolls for you using your stats. Like if there's something happening, like say there's like an assassin hiding in the rafters or something, right? The DM rolls your perception check for you in secret to see if you notice that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
And terrifying.
Yeah. So like suddenly it's like DM will just be like, what's your perception modifier? Okay, cool.
And see, that's where you just ask the question every so often.
Right?
No context.
Because then the player doesn't know if they failed or not. Instead of it solves one of the big problems that 5e has, where the DM says, roll me a perception check. You roll astronomically high. It's like, okay, you don't notice anything. You can be confident there's nothing there, right? And you may act differently, even though you just didn't notice anything. You don't know that you, like, searched the fuck out of that rafter, right? But yeah, it's interesting.
Dynamic. You can just roll dice for no reason whatsoever, and suddenly everyone's on edge.
I accidentally zoomed in way too far. I do this thing where I just kind of like drag and make boxes all over my screen, and sometimes I press buttons I don't mean to. It's ADHD, man. I gotta deal with it somehow.
Mm-hmm. I'm always zooming in and out on my screen.
Right. Okay. Alright, everybody. So, it only takes about half a day more of hard, fast travel before you all find yourselves looking over Baldur's Gate. I just realized that all these tracks were super loud and I don't want to blow out anyone's eardrums, so stand by.
I just turned it down.
Alright, everybody. So, some of you are familiar with this place, others not so much, but you do find yourselves standing before the walls of Baldur's Gate after not too much longer on the road. The road has not been kind to you all. It has been a hard, long drive, and there has been no guarantee about what you're going to find at the other end of it. But you do find yourselves finally looking over your final destination. And welcome to Baldur's Gate, everybody. Baldur's Gate is a veritable nest of rats and vipers clinging to the rocky slopes overlooking the Chianthar River. From their high perches in the upper city, the local nobles, known as patriarchs, gaze down with veiled contempt upon the common rabble in the grimy lower city. Lower City hugs the foggy harbor and is a relatively... It's a bit of a hive of scum and villainy, if you will. But following the river farther east would eventually lead you back to Eltura. Or at least that was the case until just a few days ago. There is already a flood of refugees making their way here from the surrounding countrysides. People from all around the area flooding, and it's only gotten worse since news first arrived that the city has fallen officially. Everyone is saying that Baldur's Gate could be next, but no one truly knows who or what has claimed El Terrell, and panic is still driving people into the presumed safety of its walls. The patriarchs here pay a mercenary army called the Flaming Fist to keep the peace for them.
Sound like a bunch of jerks.
Some of them are alright.
The Flaming Fists are there to protect the Patriarch's interests in Baldur's Gate, and by extension, the city itself. The Flaming Fist has gained even more power since their charismatic leader, Ulder Ravengard, claimed the title of Grand Duke a few years ago. But now, Ravengard is missing. In his absence, the Flaming Fist has sealed the city's gates to staunch the flow of refugees, and no one is allowed in or out of the city. As you all look on, you do see quite a scene in front of the Basilisk Gate, the main gate into Baldur's Gate. There are dozens of Flaming Fist soldiers trying desperately to control an angry mob of commoners that are eager to enter the city. A fight breaks out between the soldiers and a few of the commoners, rocks being thrown, soldiers kind of throwing up their shields, and a few of them get batons out. A brief but rather brutal fight. And at the end of just that few couple seconds of outburst, you're spotted by somebody. A tall, gruff, gray-bearded man by the name of Captain Zoj. Faris, you would recognize this man. You've dealt with him several times. You're the one that he immediately spotted. And he begins wading through the fray, just completely heedless of the things being thrown past him, just like this is just any other Tuesday for this man. And he wades through the fray in your direction. It's obviously just another day in the City of Blood. He wades towards you all. Says, "You! Tinker! Where the hell have you been?"
Captain Zoj, oh, so glad to see you. There's a lot to tell.
Right. Well, Ravengard, is he with you?
Unfortunately, no. Was he also sent to Avernus? Or not Avernus,
Last you heard, he was in the city.
Oh.
He was with you, wasn't he?
No. You might want to take a seat for this. Eltriel, it's gone.
So we've heard. So the rumors are true. Not but a crater. Hey?
That about sums it up. We rushed here as quick as we could. Behind us there's roughly 1,000 or so refugees. We need to figure out something to help them. That's.
He gestures around. Look around you, dude. We look like we can support thousands of people here.
Well, if things keep going the way they are, who knows? Baldur's Gate might be next.
He looks around.
Won't be supporting anybody then.
Well, go on. Who are you all? What are you doing here? He's addressing all the rest of you.
Winnie doesn't say anything, but looks very pointedly at him, just like not happy with him.
Ferris looks back to Captain Zoj and says, "They're some new friends of mine. They're here to help."
He looks over towards Buggy.
My name is...
You a Hell Rider, son?
Whatever's left of them, yeah.
Whatever is left of them. Can't say I hate the sound of that.
Really, no.
Oh, good. You're a dick.
Well, Zoj, let's cut to the chase. So, we are tracking some people that came back this way, and I'm wondering if you know, well, we are wondering, if you've maybe seen any suspicious figures. We're tracking people that we believe are part of the Cult of Baal, or the Cult of the Dragon. They may have been in a black carriage.
Black carriage. Many of those coming through here, son.
Well, it may have what they call a treasure. We don't know what this treasure is, but it may contain some sort of information that's resulting into the whole catastrophe of Eltriel and its fall.
All right. Go ahead.
Tiberius pulls out the note that we had found from stating that I forgot who had stated they got it from, but where someone had gotten some sort of artifact and brought it to there where those cultists were starting to kill one another.
The letter from Duke Van Damper.
Yes.
Bless you and your note taking.
With Worm Speaker Reims. Or Rems. I don't know how to spell the names.
Oh, I had Van Thamper written down as a wealthy family, but I didn't remember that being part of that note.
Dusty politician who had the treasure. And the letter came from the Cult of Dragon, Worm Speaker Reims. Or Reims. Who's going to send out Ultist, the hitman for the Cult of the Dragon.
So seeing this and hearing about the Dead Three, he would look up from the note, a scowl on his face. Looks around at all the refugees. Long has Baldur's Gate been plagued by the Dead Three. Thought we'd wiped them out, but apparently not. He nods and says, they're active here once again. These purveyors of fear and death are taking advantage of the current crisis to go on murder sprees throughout the city.
Then it sounds like you could use all the help you could get. You might as well let us in.
He looks over towards you. You're not wrong. Well then.
I rarely am.
A little smile. Barely, you can tell this man. That's probably the closest he's gotten to a smile in like 20 years. But. Ugh. Anyways, here. He looks towards you all. You're gonna deal with the Dead Three? That's why you're here?
I believe so.
We're here to get answers.
Well then, as my appointed deputies in this matter, he pulls out a pouch with several badges in it. We'll have license to kill these wretches on sight. Find their lair, wipe them out, eliminate anyone who gets in your way. Don't worry about the collateral damage.
Ew.
Ferris gets excited with that idea.
Winnie rolled her eyes.
I tend to do so because, well, it seems highly unprofessional.
Unprofessional isn't my business. As long as the job gets done, kill who you gotta, burn what you gotta, do what you have to. Just make sure that these assholes, these bastards, are not causing any more problems in the city. We have enough problems to deal with. Who knows? You deal with them, I may be able to scrounge up some extra supplies for your beggars coming to town.
Not beggar.
Listen, I am comfortable doing your job, but I'm going to do it better.
Honey, he's already agreed to help us.
I don't like the way he did it.
Man, if I'd known that all it took to get a license to ignore collateral damage, I would have just started hunting these guys a lot sooner.
Okay, Tinker, in we go.
We're gonna mind the collateral damage.
We're the good guys. Come on.
Says,
Is this really what they call the law enforcement of this city?
these guys are
You better
thugs. These guys are thugs with badges, like straight up. But as you're going, he says, hey! May not be the nicest bunch, but still gotta talk about payment. Jobs don't get done without pay around here. How's 200 gold each sound?
Are we paying him or is he paying us?
The city will be happy to pay you for your services.
300 each.
Well,
300
That's the first thing you've said to him, right, Winnie? You've just been kind of glaring at him.
Yeah. And like muttering under my breath at him.
I love Winnie.
So he would have noticed that, and he would look over towards you, Winnie. Roll a persuasion check.
Oh no.
You can do this. I believe in you.
16 at level 2? Okay.
With a -1.
With a -1. Nice. So he looks over towards you and says, I like your grit, girl. 300 it is. You bring me an ear, I'll make it 350.
Deal. And I just turn my horse and walk in.
Zoj makes a gesture.
Dead or alive?
Dead. I want him alive. More resources to spend. Bring me heads and ears.
Fair enough.
Just don't forget to help our people when they get here.
A deal's a deal. Your
Ferris,
people will
shakes
wait
his
outside the
hand.
gates until the job's done.
Yeah, Ferris shakes his hand and says thank you, and then
Take that weight away from her before she breaks her feet.
Oh no. I was like, wait, what? Oh.
Sorry.
You're good, you're good. So as he starts to order the gate opened, he would say, a few blocks from here, a few blocks from this gate, there's a woman named Tarina. She hangs out at the Elf Song Tavern. Ferris and a couple of you, a couple others that have been to the city have almost certainly heard of the Elf Song. It's one of the more popular taverns in the city. Tarina hangs out there. She gathers rumors for the guild. She owes me a favor. Tell her you're working for me. Ask her what she knows about the Dead Three. She should be able to direct you towards this bathhouse, fountain, nymph place, whatever the hell it is. And for the love of Baldur, be nice. Tarina has some dangerous friends.
thanks again.
I didn't think we were the ones having a problem being nice.
The question is, what kind of person is that man afraid to offend?
We'll find out together.
So I take it we make our way to the Elf Song Tavern and kind of keep our eyes peeled along the way.
Fucking fast.
Space is
Think
passing.
so.
I'm homebound.
Alright, everybody. So as you move away from the gates, the general sounds of unrest begin to fade away behind you. There was already several hundred people crowding the gates, but once you all are let in, the area directly behind the Basilisk Gate is almost as crowded. There are almost just as many people trying to get the fuck out of the city. Some trying to force their way in, others trying to force their way out. It is a veritable madhouse near any gate. So, go ahead and drop the Elf Song Tavern out for you all. And the Basilisk Gate, where you all just entered in through. Alright, y'all. So, you are officially in Baldur's Gate. It is a full-fledged major city. Anything that you could imagine to do here is doable here. The Elf Song Tavern is only about a 15-minute walk from the Basilisk Gate. You can head there whenever you'd like to, now, whenever. But yeah, that's where your contact is. She's the one who can tell you where to find that bathhouse.
Right to her.
Gonna go straight there.
Watching my bag and coin purse.
Yeah, Winnie's
Yeah.
gonna take her coin purse and put it underneath the scarf that Grace's scarf that she has wrapped around her, and tuck it in there to hide it.
Yeah,
Real
Ferris
close
warns
to
them
her
all to
chest.
keep everything close to them and keep your eyes peeled for
Oh, we've been here
anything
before.
sketchy.
Uh-huh.
And she has a dart trained in her hand on the reins of the horse.
I was gonna
Ready.
ask, do we have to leave our horses like at the gate?
No, you can take them through the city if you want to. They're not. There's no open horses in. There's no horses in like riding around in the upper city, but the lower city you can take them around. It's not considered polite to just be riding your horses through the city, but you can do it.
Is there a stable that we can stable them at?
There most
Securely.
certainly is.
Yeah, I feel like taking horses through the city is just gonna cause more issues than anything.
Draw attention.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
Reluctantly follow to the stable.
All right. There would be stables near the Elf Song. We will
Okay.
say 2 silver per night that you haven't boarded.
Do we get a discount since I am like a cleric? Isn't there some sort of shelter of the faithful? Does it count for my horse?
Well, I don't think the Temple of Sune does boarding services.
This is Baldur's Gate. I'd be surprised if they have too many temples around here.
Oh, there's loads of temples. Any major city will have
Okay.
temples to all the major faiths, and as well as several all temples, all shrines, as they're called.
Oh, okay.
But there definitely would be a temple of Sune in here. I just don't think they would have a boarding service or a place to put your horses.
Would there be a somewhere that some dwarves would have boarding for horses? As I have respected the stout folk and can get some free stuff through them.
There's 5 of us, right?
Yes.
And a single gold is worth
10
silver.
silver.
I will just simply pay a single gold piece.
To board everyone's horses. Word.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's more micromanaging than we need to worry about here. But yeah, but there is High Hall. There's the High Hall of Wonders. There are places like that, but again, these are all like places of learning and like places of worship. They're not just gonna have general public services available.
Gotcha. Sorry.
You're good.
We're all broke. We have to be painting pictures here.
Right.
When he
At least I'm broke.
taps
5
Tibbs on the
silver
back.
pieces and 5 gold pieces. That's it.
I'm sorry, Taps. What on her back?
Tibbs on the back saying thank you. Like, thanks, Tibbs.
Oh, it's no problem. I suspect I would wind up having to pay some anyhow, as he looks over at his spouse. He is thinking of the multiple pieces of chocolate he now has stashed.
Oh, Grace.
When he hugs the scarf tighter. Her.
So, do we see anything interesting on the way to the Elsong Tavern?
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
All of us or just one?
Anyone that would like to.
Yes.
Oof.
Nice.
I'm off to a great start today.
Character sheet. Let's go. There we go. Perception.
Well, I can't see crap either.
Nope.
Trying to load my character sheet. Being like really slow for some reason today.
Roll 20 in general has just been running slowly lately.
Maybe there's servers out here in the Midwest or something, because we're getting a crap ton of snow.
Well, popping it out worked.
Okay. Alright, no, nothing. Oh, well. There's something. Bucky, you notice that the people are very cautious. Like, you all were kind of walking around with your hands on your pockets, on your purses, kind of weapons ready just in case. The people seem far more afraid of you, a bunch of strangers walking through the streets, than you are being cautious.
Really?
Yes, they see you all, and children are being snatched and put back into the houses. People are kind of ducking and closing blinds and shutters as you move through. There's just a very, very tangible sense of distrust going throughout the city at the moment.
Given what happened in El Torrell, I'm not surprised everyone's a little on edge.
Well, considering the fact he's willing to pay us a couple hundred gold apiece for helping thin out this cult to an extent.
And Bucky, with your 21, as you're walking past, looking down an alleyway, you see just out of the corner of your eye a flurry of movement. Several dark shapes there in your periphery for a moment, and then when you look to focus on them, gone. There are 3 shapes on the ground down that alleyway.
I think Bucky would probably kind of signal towards everybody and just make his way that way.
Make him away.
Just try to get a little closer and see what is going on over there.
Moving down the alleyway, there are 3 merchants on the ground. Each of them has more stab wounds than you can count.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at just the timing on that in the chat.
I'm gonna rush over and try to check and see if they're still alive. See if we can help them at all.
They are quite dead. The one that you rolled over seems to have no less than a dozen stab wounds.
Well,
We hate this place.
welcome to Baldur's Gate.
Do the stab wounds look similar to the way the knives were shaped of the things that stabbed me?
Make a medicine check.
Oh, good question.
They do.
Take it that their faces aren't all cut up.
Nope.
They're
So-
sacrificing more people.
Yeah, the cult of the dead are definitely here.
So we need to get the information.
We
need
should
to try
go through their
to-
pockets.
Oh
See if
god.
there's any like notes or anything.
Yeah,
Mhm.
agreed. See if they have any affiliations with perhaps.
Each of them
Well, anybody.
carries a full gold pouch, all of their jewelry, all of their valuables. These people were not robbed. Whoever did this did not take anything from them.
I'm
And
looking more for like
we
Just their
take
trying
lives.
to identify like who they were, who they worked with.
Yeah,
Keep
they were
doing
merchants.
that.
They were merchants from. They appear to be merchants from one of the eastern plazas in the city by the sea gate. Middle of the road merchants. They appear to be not super wealthy. They wouldn't be hanging out down here if they were. But yeah,
I recommend we don't loot these people, as it would make us look pretty freaking guilty.
Yep.
Can I?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
Um,
take anything. I'm trying to figure out.
No, someone said loot them.
Ferris is broke and he wants to make a homunculus and he needs money for that. But he will abide by your decisions and agree that that's
see-
probably not the best
Fine, Mom.
decision.
I have the urchin background. Can I
Uh-huh.
use city secrets to see, because we're in an alley, see if there's any passageways or anything out of the ordinary that I would notice from being in Alterel and using like back alleyways to kind of do some shady stuff under Jaren's nose that he didn't know about.
Such a good background. Yes.
And see if I can find maybe where these monsters went.
Okay. So looking around, your innate sense of just kind of this underworld type of environment, as you're looking around, looking up and just looking like for like ladder escapes and things like that, you don't see anywhere where they could have gone, but you do see up in maybe about 2 stories up in an alcove carved into one of the upper walls, a pair of shining eyes in the darkness looking down at you. They see you looking at them and they kind of pull back into their little alcove.
And I keep my eyes trained on where I saw them, and I just signal everyone towards that way. Don't move. Someone's there.
So as you say that, Winnie, you hear in your mind a voice. No trouble. No trouble. Sonda saw nothing. No trouble.
I walk up very slowly.
The figure up in the alcove kind of shifts. Now that you're focused on them, you can see a tabaxi moving around up in there. She's kind of huddled back into her alcove. I saw nothing.
We won't hurt you. I promise. And I kind of just like show her my tail a little bit. I'm not exactly like you, but we're related in some way.
1 second. Okay. Alright. So she kind of looks you up and down and can see that from your posture and the way that you're approaching, she kind of comes out from her alcove a little bit. You can see she's a relatively tall tabaxi, sleek black fur, long whiskers kind of almost curl back towards her head. And she says, "Are the shadows gone?" This time she says out loud.
God, do you know where they went? You don't have to say it with words, just with your eyes.
She shakes her head, looks up.
I follow her eyes.
So, there's no obvious way that they could have gotten out as quickly as they did.
So she's kind of saying, like, they just
disappeared,
vanished.
Right?
Do you see them often?
She nods, and into your mind, she says, "They come out in the night, mostly."
And is it just Winnie hearing all this?
So yes, that she would have just spoken into her head. So basically what you all are seeing is a tabaxi kind of crouched down defensively, kind of still a little bit on edge near the wall, and they're kind of, the tabaxi and Winnie are kind of like locked eyes. You can tell they're conversing telepathically.
Yeah, and I would be like, if she's squatted down, I would be like squatted down so I can be eye level with her, so she knows I'm not here to threaten her, that I am a friend.
She says, "The shadows, not interested in gold or money. They offered everything they had. And they laughed as they struck them down."
They come from a central place? Do you know? Can you tell us?
This time she looks down.
Oh.
If you all were to follow her eyes, you would see her looking down at a little sewer drain.
That explains how they moved around so quickly.
Thank you. And I say the thank you out loud, because I'm assuming most of this she's been saying in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I say thank you, and I give her 2 gold pieces, and I tell her to leave.
She nods, and with a quick glance towards everyone, hops a straight 10 feet up into the air towards her alcove.
I go back to the group and I just relay all the information she gave me. Underneath the city, the sewers. That's where we'll find them.
Of course it's the sewers. It could...
What was her name again?
Sada.
Sada.
Well, I take it we should get to the elf song with what we know and find out what else we can find out and be as prepared as possible before we go down there.
Don't suggest we tell this Torino person what we found out here.
No, that's gonna be our information, for sure.
Yeah.
Sada.
Good job, Winnie.
Thanks, guys. And I just walk out of the alley.
I'm going with Winnie.
Guess we'll
She
keep
locks
going towards
arms
the
with
tavern.
Anna.
All right, everybody. So, Doesn't take long before you do arrive outside of the Elf Song Tavern. It is a bustling place. There is quite a lot of people inside currently. You can hear the rabble from out here. There is a very large half ogre sitting on a regular person size like stool, like three-legged stool, but she basically envelops the entire thing. And she sits there and looks over towards you all and says, "Busy night, no trouble."
Yes, ma'am.
Would we ever cause trouble?
Only the troublemakers say that. She narrows her eyes at you.
Bucky,
Are you, Tarina?
She leans towards you. Skuna.
Is that her name, or is that
That's her name.
Is that how they say hello?
right? I'm like, is that her name, or is that like another language, or?
Skuna is a half ogre, you said?
Yes, Skuna is a half ogre.
Patron or a bar owner?
They mostly come out at night. Mostly.
Skuna, could you direct us over to Tarina, please?
Don't know Tarina.
All right, we will find her ourselves. Thank you for your help.
Alright, so as you all head in, the first thing that any of you would notice would be the 8-foot-tall suit of armor that turns its head to face you as you all enter into the bar.
Oh, I thought we were already in the bar.
That was just outside.
Oh.
That's the bouncer.
That's the bouncer.
I feel dumb.
Anna's gonna salute the armor.
That is amazing. So, as soon as you do that, it shoots its arm up and smacks its helmet in the face, and you hear Skuna outside, "Damn it, Clank! No Clank!"
Winnie chuckles a little bit. Really
I love
tempted
Clank.
to salute too, but is keeping her composure to
adopt
not
him?
cause trouble.
Once you salute him, his hand goes back down and immediately goes back up and slams into his own visor. Makes a huge clink. Skuna outside lets out a groan.
Sorry.
You replace helmet!
The helmet's fine. And just keeps walking in.
Alright. So, those of you that are familiar with the Elf Song Tavern would know that its namesake is gotten... a few of you would probably be familiar with this place, aside from Ferris, of course. Anyone that's been to Baldur's Gate on business more than a few times would definitely be familiar with this tavern. You would know that from time to time, the disembodied voice of a female elf fills the tavern with a melancholy song, giving the establishment its name. It's a very common thing. Respectfully, all the patrons usually calm and quiet and listen to the ballad. It's kind of like a ghost, a friendly ghost that haunts the place and sings for the patrons every now and then. Does anybody speak Elvish?
I do.
Awesome. So it's perfect. Ferris, you would know that the song that she always sings is always the exact same. It's the same song every single time. And it is a ballad to a missing lover, a lover lost at sea. Very common Elvish song that is played. A lament for an unnamed lover lost to the sea. The place is owned by a man named Alan Arith. Or Alan Alith. God, fucking D&D loves their alliterations. Alan Alith. Current owner and proprietor. He is a rather old half-elf, although you wouldn't know it to look at him. Recently turned 75, but he still looks like in his early to mid-30s.
Oh, I'm older than him.
His elven blood keeps him looking young. But for a half-elf, he's definitely doing well for himself. As you all enter into the tavern, as you walk in, taking a few steps in, once the last of the 5 of you have entered, you all get a sense of foreboding. The tavern begins to quiet down. You hear what sounds like music begin. Although, Ferris, you especially, having been to this establishment many times, would know that this isn't the normal feeling that happens when the elf song plays. Normally the elf song, while melancholy, has a sense of hopefulness to it. The song that begins now is not the same song that has played every time other since you've been here. Does anybody else speak Elvish?
I do not.
Anybody that speaks Elvish would be able to translate the non-English parts of this song that are currently playing.
Ferris would translate along with it as it goes. Sing a song of Eltriel, of water, woods, and hill. The sun dawns on her ruddy cliffs, and fields green and still. The land of long abiding joy, home of the strong and brave, renowned by all across the realms, and never once a slave. We'll sing a song of Eltriel.
The song then becomes legible to all of you. Everybody in the tavern kind of begins looking around. You can see concern growing on their faces. Nobody dares says a word or move. But you can hear some people kind of leaning in, hearing, like, have you heard this one before? People shaking their heads. Some people, there's an ancient dwarf sitting in the corner. Looks like he's lived in that bar stool for the past 100 years. He also is looking confused and concerned and frightened.
Take up your swift keen swords and charge into the hellish fray and scatter death along.
Did everybody get that handout?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
I'm not going to say pay attention to these lyrics, but, you know, might help.
Well, that's kind of what I'm doing because it's sounding...
Just start welling up, thinking of her twin brother and sister, her younger siblings. And she starts gripping the dart she's been holding in her hand even tighter until it snaps.
The snap is audible throughout the entire tavern. You can hear everybody take a deep inhalation in. And life slowly begins to return to the tavern. Conversations begin to pick back up. People are beginning to look around confusedly at each other. You can see people kind of stretching like, what the fuck was that?
Ferris turns to the party and tells them that, yeah, no, that was not what normally plays out here. Something is definitely wrong.
Sounds like a morning for the city.
And with that morning for the fall of Elturel, we're going to go ahead and take our break, everybody. Alright, so we are back once again. The atmosphere has returned to some semblance of normality here in the Elf Song Tavern. People are still kind of looking around suspiciously, and not any small number of people are kind of shooting glares your way. It hasn't gone unnoticed that that strange, creepy-ass song happened to play the moment that you all walked into the Elf Song Tavern.
Mm-hmm.
So, as
Go
you all
around to
kind of
drinks.
make your way in there, let me go ahead and set you all up here real quick, and we will change the scene in a moment. Winnie, Bucky, who's missing? Anna. Okay.
Oh, that's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people here. All right. So, you all see a man. The place is very crowded, right? There's people everywhere. There's the bouncer outside that you all passed by. The 8-foot tall suit of armor that dented itself twice in the face because it can't resist saluting people.
Is that Flannery?
Where? Did I use the same token by accident? I did. Oops. No.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
He
His
followed
twin
us.
brother, Dannery.
Laney, how'd you get here
Anna
before us?
accidentally murdered a man. The cosmos plucked him from the universe.
Oh, my.
It's like, wait, no! Is that Flannery?
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. I'm like, I'm gonna use all unique NPCs for this encounter. They're all gonna have their own art and everything. Uses most recent NPC.
Honor, you say?
All right, everybody.
I'm gonna go straight to the bar.
Yep.
Yep.
Round
Nah,
of
I'm
drinks.
not on the bar.
Ferris hops on the bar. Spider stance.
Coyote Ugly.
What do you know? Where are the detonators?
Where's the cult?
So, barkeep turns around, nods. How many of you have been here?
He's never left El Toro.
Definitely
Probably,
me, apparently.
So,
I don't know that
I
Bucky
feel-
would have made it this far.
Got it.
I feel like we go a lot of places.
Right, so Tiberius and Anne. So he would look up and kind of give you a nod, Ferris, and look around and kind of look back towards Tiberius and Anna and give them each a little nod. And he says, "You all seem to have caused quite the ruckus."
Seems so.
I'm on fire. That happens a lot.
So he looks towards you, Bucky, and he says, "That song spoke of you. You know anything of it?"
No, I don't think Bucky's ever heard that before, right?
No, you have not heard that song before.
I guess all I'd have to say is no. I don't know what that was. Never heard anything like it before. Dark days, though, for El Terrell.
He nods and says, I heard. It's all many of the people around here can talk about today. Well, that was rather unsettling, but looks around towards all of you. You all seem just as disturbed by it as anyone else, so I doubt you're the cause of it. So what can I get for you?
I think we need a round.
You got it. He holds up 5 fingers, raises his brows questioningly.
Give him a high five.
Ugh. Looks at his hand. I'm always scared you're gonna burn me, Anna. Kind of dusts his hand on his jacket a little bit, looks at it.
You're fine.
Right. So he pours 5 tumbler glasses with a dark brown liquor, probably whiskey or rum. Probably rum, knowing Baldur's Gate. Passes it all over to you and holds up 10 fingers this time, but then looks towards Anna and takes his hands back. for 10 copper or 1
Ah.
silver.
Lucky's got it. Yeah, it's like 10 silver, really? That's a lot.
Tibbs, be a dear.
Bucky's got this round.
She's not going to pay for
have a
anything.
toast to El Toro.
What was that?
I said Bucky's got this round. We can have a toast to El Toro. Whatever's left of it.
Don't say that out loud, because her kids, Anna's kids, are in there.
There's takes a sip of his rum and he asks barkeep, so is there a Tarina around here?
So as you ask that, the door to the kitchen opens and a very tall, very lanky man with scars all over his body, an eye patch, looks around. He's heavily muscled. Looks out towards you all. Look of panic and shock in his eye. Soup! Soup's ready.
You okay?
He always like that?
Alan says, oh yeah, he's the new cook. He's a bit strange, but dear gods, you've got to taste his food. It's amazing.
How long has he been a cook here?
About a year.
Okay.
Ferris, the old cook, was a dwarven woman who was very old, bordering decrepit.
I think Ferris would ask what happened to her.
Skiing accident.
Thought it would have been a more natural passing, but fair enough. So as I was asking, is Tarina around?
Ah, Tarina, that pirate-looking lady, wore the hat with the feather and had the sword. Yeah, she's upstairs.
Question to the DM, that cook again. You said he had an eye patch and a bunch of cuts on him?
Yeah.
Would you say he had lips still?
Yes, he definitely had lips still.
Okay.
Did the cuts look like self-mutilation or just like wounds?
Make an insight check.
Oh yeah, I can do this.
Perception would also be appropriate if anyone else wants to take that. So that man was shell-shocked as fuck. He looks like the way that he looked, he's probably seen one too many battles. But those wounds were all very much like, I took an axe to the knee when I was 14.
Oh.
Got it. Okay, so he's just an old man. Battle man.
He'd seen some things. Back in Nam.
Back in Nam!
Cool. So when he relaxes just a little bit after, like, figuring that out. Zipping
Yeah, barkeep. Well, they got you. What's, any, news around here? Of interest?
Well, now that you mention it, there's been quite a bit more killings lately. Not the regular thieving and robbing and bar fights you've seen, just random acts of violence.
How often would you say?
Nightly now.
Killings by stabbing?
He nods. Extreme, even for these parts. And he leans in. Weirdest part about it is they're not taking any of their stuff. You know, we see robberies gone wrong all the time around here, but these folks, they're just killing for the fun of it.
When he looks around at her new friends and doesn't say anything, but just gives them a glance, kind of, these are the ones we're looking for.
I'm sad to hear it. Mind if we go speak with Tarina?
Head on up. She's just gambling up there like she has been the past few days.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything we need to know about her?
Don't gamble with her.
Okay.
She's pretty damn good.
No. Oh, Ferris gets up and starts making his way to the stairs.
Can I have one more ale or rum, one more thing? I'm gonna take it up to her. Might as well buy some goodwill.
He puts one down on the table.
Tips.
Thank
you.
It's 2 copper for the ale, for the rum.
He sighs.
4 tips.
Alright. So y'all heading upstairs?
Yep.
Yes.
Stand by for teleport.
Teleporting.
Actually, after the Mario thing, wop wop wop.
Going
Actually,
down the
I actually watched Wayne's World for the first time in like 10 years the other day.
Oh, I love Wayne's World.
Scene change. Diddle-doo, diddle-doo, diddle-doo.
Such a good
Alright.
movie.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh, did you all? Did I
Really
copy
long
you
day.
all, or did I?
I guess so.
I think I hit copy paste instead of drag you.
Oh, it's a bear rug.
Clones everywhere.
And fight.
All right, so these two would have been seated together as you all entered in, and
All I have is a black screen. I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
you're good.
One that
found it.
self-illuminates. Oh my.
So you would see this woman get up, and she looks over and she says, "Damn it, Serena, cleared me out. I will get back. I will get the money I lost here. You watch." And she turns and, "Excuse me, I would like to leave with what little possessions I have left, if you don't mind."
My sincerest apologies. And Tiberius sidesteps out of the way.
She begins to leave, and the woman calls out, "So long, Rahina. You'd assume that, being able to see the future, you'd have a little better luck, but I suppose not. Better next time." She kind of scowls back as she makes her way downstairs.
Ouch.
I guess that would make you Tarina.
She does a bit of a flourish at the table.
Anna's gonna put the beer down, or the rum. I'm sorry, rum down in front of her.
Oh, how kind of you. She
Zorg
knocks it
told
back
us
in one
to.
gulp and puts it back down.
That's impressive. Zorg is his name?
Zodge. Zorg.
Zodge.
Emmanuel Tiberius Zorg.
Zoj, I think it was. Yeah, Captain Zoj.
Captain Zod sent us in your direction.
So, well, he's certainly had his hands full lately. And what exactly did he send you for?
He told us that you might be able to help us out with a mutual problem.
Well, I've got lots of problems, and I help lots of people out. You'll have to be a little more specific.
The Cult of the Dead 3.
Well, now you certainly have my attention.
He said you might have seen some things, might know some information about them.
I've seen lots of things.
We're also
and
looking
know
for
lots.
We're also looking for a specific bathhouse.
Excellent. Well, I can certainly help you out. I know exactly where the bathhouse is. I know exactly where you can find the Dead Three.
Well, then it's our lucky day we found you.
Speaking of lucky days,
I get
She
the
lifts-
sense this isn't going to be free.
she lifts the cup off the table that you set down in front of her, Anna, and underneath it are a bunch of dice now. Fancy a game?
The bartender told us very specifically not to play this game with you.
That man has
I'll
far
go
too
for it.
close a relationship with his coin purse. It's fine. It's a friendly
Ferris
game.
being very broke and
Bucky
kind
will
of
go for it.
interested. Yeah, I think Ferris is in on it.
So she waves at you, Bucky, with an open hand, and then takes that open hand and kind of passes it over the table just a couple inches off the table, and there's 4 gold under it. She gestures towards it. Your match?
I'll match it.
It's a little rich for
Winnie's gonna
Ferris'
be
blood.
keeping an eye on her hand movements.
Make a perception
I am. I'm not hovering over her shoulder, but I'm definitely looking over it.
check. Okay.
I see
Magic.
nothing.
Sorcery.
Do I really want to use a spell slot to detect magic? No,
All right.
no, I don't.
So, Bucky. Is anyone else playing?
Not for 4 gold.
Not for 4 gold.
I have
Look,
5
this is
gold in
just
my
doing
name. I'm
business.
good.
It depends. Is she like doing sleight of hand style stuff, or is it actually a true dice game?
You could also make a perception check if you'd like, based off of what she did with the coins and having the dice appear under the cup that Anna just brought her.
I know
Oh,
nothing.
Tim.
Magic. Sorcery. No, you don't know how she's doing it.
Truth. Well, okay. I'm just gonna sit back in case, just because we already got a couple folks playing. So
Winnie's
I'm
still
watching
gonna
her
be
like a hawk.
watching.
Yeah, the girls know what's up.
Like Winnie was tricked by whatever she did, but she's still just very sussy bananas of this woman. She does not trust anyone except the 4 people she came into this bar with.
Look, it's just business.
So the game is Baldur's Bones. It is essentially a game of 21. We start and you roll 3 d6s, and then it goes clockwise around the table, starting with the host of the game, who of course is Tarina, and they decide if they're going to hit or stay. First one, when everyone decides that they're good with their numbers, the closest one to 21 wins. Go over, you bust.
When
you
you
lose.
hit, is it another 3d6 or just
Another d6, and just another d6.
Okay.
All right, so here goes Tarina. Okay, Bucky, are you still
Nice.
playing? I mean,
Yes.
Ferris.
You know what?
Ferris
Screw
is
it.
not playing.
Yep, Ferris is in. Ferris is in.
Okay,
He's in. Let's do it. What is it? 3d6 you said?
3d6. Nice. Okay. Tarina rolls. 17. Ferris.
Oh, I thought Bucky
Oh,
was.
sorry. Yeah, Bucky. We'll keep it that way. Sorry, I mixed up which.
No. Yeah, he is definitely gonna hit. Total
So-
of 13.
Okay. Ferris. That puts Ferris at 12.
well,
Okay. Tarina will stay.
Phew, excuse me, sorry.
I'm sorry. Tarina will hit on her 17. Over she goes. She smiles and leans back in her chair, looks towards you, Anna, holds both of her hands out. Oops.
Oops, indeed.
Ferris and Bucky, you may continue your game.
Oh, because we're playing against each other now.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bucky will hit at a what was he at, a 13?
Yes, I'm writing it down.
Ah.
You're at 16?
Puts him doing 8 or 16. I can't do math.
Math is hard.
It's okay. I'm doing the
It
math,
is.
it's all good. Plus 2 gives you 14.
I'm at 14.
16. Yeah, we will hit again.
21.
Nice.
Okay, so I have to roll to match it, or
You gotta match it.
The best you can get is 20 right now.
oh, so I roll and the what
18.
he stays and I roll again, or
Yeah, I stay at 21.
okay.
So you gotta tie it or you lose.
19. You can do it again.
Ah,
Over. 24.
I mean, either way, I would have lost if I didn't hit it. So
Yeah.
Better you take my gold than her. What is that? 4 gold pieces. I shouldn't have done this. Okay, I'm down to
Bucky
1
will
gold
happily
piece.
collect his winnings. Well, that was a lot
Alright.
of fun.
She says it was, wasn't it? Now, shall we play again?
Well, why don't we talk
first.
statistics first?
Yeah, what more can you tell us?
Let's get a little information going, and then maybe we'll play another hand.
She says, fair, fair. The bathhouse is in the upper city. It is controlled by the Van Thampers.
The what?
Van Thampers.
The Lumra Van Thamper.
Is there
Recently...
one in particular?
What was that?
Oh, yeah, I think you were about to tell. I said, is there one in particular of that family?
The Lumra Van Thamper. She goes on to
Say
tell
that
you
one
about
more
how,
time?
up until recently, she was essentially a glorified sewer overseer. Her family and her job was to make sure that the sewers were maintained and kept up to code and all of that stuff. But just recently, her and her family stumbled upon something beneath the city. And what do you know? A week later, they were one of the richest families in the city.
One of these ears is gonna perk up at sewer.
What was her name again?
Coincidence.
The first name?
Van Thamper.
The Lumra.
Balamra?
The Lumra.
How do you spell that? I'm trying to take the note. Every time you say it, I'm just like, what?
The
There's a
Limarama,
TH
got it.
involved? Yeah.
One of the walls in my bar has fallen down.
Oh no.
I did it.
Winnie also, when she hears sewer, she's not gonna like visibly or noticeably like perk up, but it's gonna catch her attention for sure, knowing what's
I feel like Anna looks back at her like,
like her and Anna just like side eye each other, like
yeah.
Mysterious riches overnight.
So do we know, do you know what it is that they found down there?
She kind of looks down at her dice, looks back at you and smiles.
He puts down 1 gold piece.
She puts down 1 to match.
Bucky's also in.
DM real quick.
Uh-huh.
The Von Thomper. Is
Von
that the
Thomper,
same?
yeah.
Von Thomper. That's the same Duke from the letter, right?
Duke
Yep.
Lumra Van Thamper. Yep, Duke Van Thamper.
Thamper, got it. Okay, Van Thamper. Van Thomper.
Right.
Okay. Editing my notes.
Am I allowed to do guidance on these people doing their...
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think guidance would
Okay.
affect the dice rolls.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ferris. Bucky? Go ahead.
Wait, you only rolled 1?
1d6. I rolled 3
she
the first
rolled.
time, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't
It's
see that.
11.
It took a minute to load up. Alright, so then me...
13.
Bucky at 15.
13. 16. 20. $19. 19.
Bucky will stay at 20.
Damn.
23.
What do I got to lose? Oh, I'm at 20.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay, so you two split.
There's 3 gold there.
5 silver. You each get
5
your gold
silver
back and
each.
5 silver.
Yep. Go ahead and break it down. Okay.
Come, guys.
All right.
Wait, so we each get 1 gold and 5 silver.
Yeah.
You
gold
get your
back and
original
get,
gold back.
And you split the gold that
Gotcha.
she lost.
Hey, now I have 10 silver and 1 gold. Woohoo!
Well,
So as we were saying, what did they find down there?
She says, she leans in close and says, "It seems they found a portal to another world under there. At least that's what the word is."
Interesting.
Whatever it is she found down
world?
there, she came up wealthier than anyone could have ever imagined.
where does the portal lead?
She puts her hands up. No idea. But I do know where you can find bathhouse, and I have it on good authority that the entrance to whatever she found down there is inside the bathhouse.
Interesting.
How
She
do you
says-
know if she's working with anybody on this endeavor?
She nods and says, "I also have it on good authority that she is working with the Dead Three."
Making a
Well,
deal with
if
the devil, so to
Bananarama is the
speak.
reason that my kids are in freaking hell, there's gonna be trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Now-
Winnie's gonna walk up to the table
Yeah.
and be like, "How does the cult of the dragon tie into this?"
She nods and she says, "The Dead Three seem to be stealing from the Cult of the Dragon, waylaying and relieving the dragon cultists of gold by the bucket load for reasons unknown."
And what would Van Thamper have to do with the Cult of the Dragon?
She does not know. But she does say that she'd be more than happy to tell you exactly where to find Van Thamper's little secret.
What's the catch?
One more game.
Ferris throws down a gold piece.
She says, No. We're gonna need to sweeten the pot a little bit this time." She kind of looks
What are we
around.
talking?
She says, "Well, don't really have much on you, do you? Let's just call it 6 gold."
Oof.
Bucky's in.
I'll forward some if needed.
Yeah, I got 1 gold and 10 silver, so I'm gonna need 2 more gold? Or how much gold are we putting up? You said 6.
Anna will help you, Ferris. Tips? I'm joking. But Anna would like to lean forward and again burn her holy mark into the table with her fingertip, just to keep things on the level.
Okay.
Am I able to make either another perception check or an insight check to see if she's being deceitful?
Make an
In any
insight
way?
check. She has 100% set up Ferris and Bucky. You can tell that she has intentionally thrown those first 2 games and is now quite pleased that she's managed to lull them into a security. And you see her make a perception check at advantage. You see her sleight of hand away the dice that she has been using and produce a new set, which she sets on the table. And then she leans back in the chair and she says, "I feel like my luck's about to change." And as soon as she finishes that sentence, you all hear a kick of the door downstairs. Everybody gasps downstairs. You can hear some bottles falling over and breaking. And you all hear from downstairs, Tarina! Where are you, you salty hag? You hear rumble. You hear bursting from downstairs. A couple tables get knocked over. You hear, we're looking for a friend of ours. Goes by the name Tarina, or so I'm told. Loves to cheat at Baldur's Bones. Who's seen her?
A look.
Tarina kind of folds her arms over. You see her pocket her dice. She's like, I have a new idea.
She pockets her dice. Can I throw one of my like darts at her to kind of like pin her hand to the table?
Yeah. You want to like actually injure her, or you want to like?
No, non-lethal, but I just want to stick. Like, maybe a little injury, but, like, I want her hand to be...
Like, pin her shirt to the table with her hand stuck, maybe?
No, her hand is, like, now pinned to the table, man. She was trying to, like, throw the dice away. Like, I want her hand stuck to the table with, like, one of my things. She can't move.
Okay, 17 to hit?
Yeah, 17 to hit.
Ah!
We don't like cheaters.
I wasn't going to cheat you all. I was just evening the playing field a bit, but hey.
I like those dice that you pulled out.
She looks over towards you, rips out the dart, points it at you. Ow!
I have more where that came from.
Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Says, look. Whatever may or may not have been about to go down here, bottom line is that I still have, and you all hear a crash downstairs, Tarina! I still have information that you need, which you won't get if they murder me.
We won't let you go to them if you tell us the information. And I have another dart just like flinging through my fingers, like playing with it, like how you would a pencil.
Then you hear from downstairs, "Stop breaking shit, you ass! She's upstairs! Get up there! Go get her!"
Pardon me for one moment.
The 1,000 ball bearings I have in my backpack are going down the steps.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tarina looks towards you, Winnie. Look, help me out here. Get me out of here. I'll tell you everything that you need to know. I'll give them back whatever gold they may have lost.
Obviously, we're going to help you. We need your information.
Okay.
Winnie is gonna run over to the store and open it.
Is locked. You hear a gurgling, weird language from the other side. It sounds angry.
What language is it? Because I speak Orc.
It is certainly not Orc.
Okay.
Imagine if a fish tried to speak.
Got it. Okay.
Is it primordial?
It is not.
Okay.
Abyssal?
It's not draconic.
No.
She's gonna run around and try this door here. It opens.
Yep.
I'm gonna run back, grab Tarina by her collar. We go this way, guys, and rip her, pull her into the room.
Oh, excuse me.
Nope. You're done having choices.
Winnie, looking out the window there is about half a dozen guys kind of looking around, standing outside windows. You can see one of them looking around the back of the building.
Does this window lead out to the rooftop, and then we can, like, traverse the rooftops?
No, there are no rooftops close to this building. Close enough, I should say.
Should I presume this is going to be my own particular area of expertise, ladies and gentlemen?
Ferris is planning on trying to lie to them and sweet talk them.
Oh, I just dumped 1,000 ball bearings down those steps.
So as the main guy walks up, Tiberius, looking down the steps, you see a very large man, red bandana, eye patch over one eye. It's got a diamond encrusted skull in the eye patch. And he looks up towards you, says, "I know she's up there," and then he takes a step on the stairs and slips and falls flat on his ass, like, "Ah!" Looks up, "Found yourself some tricksy friends, did you, Tarina? We'll deal with them too, we will! And he starts carefully making his way up the stairs, and there's about 5 or 6 guys behind him.
Well, I'm not particularly tricksy myself.
Anna's just gonna get on the table.
Yeah.
Pull out her glaive. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. Winnie's gonna look at Tarina. Are you as good at fighting as you are good at cheating?
She pulls out a dagger. No.
Oh, you're useless.
What are the rest of these people doing?
I'm gonna
Oh
pull
yeah,
her back
they are
out.
they have very much, gotten their drinks and gotten their stuff, pulled chairs up to the side of the walls and just gone back about their business.
I'm gonna drag
Just
Tarina
letting
back
this happen.
out
Oh yeah.
and put her right here. And you move, I'll kill you.
She holds up a thumbs up, gives you a smile.
And then I'm gonna
I really
stand.
like this character.
Yeah, I do
She's
too.
great.
I'm gonna kind of stand on top of this, not on top of the table. I'll stand in line with her. I'll make sure to have closed the door behind me as I dragged her out.
Okay. All right. So the one-eyed pirate guy makes his way up there. He's like, "Where are you hiding her? Just give her to us. There's no need for any violence here," he says as he has a scimitar out.
Do you think we're as stupid as you are ugly?
He looks hurt. He looks over at you. He says, "My mother gave me this face."
I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
He's like, "How dare you!" And he pulls his scimitar. He says, "Tarina, your new friends need some manners."
Trust me, we're not her friends.
Look, you don't need to get hurt here.
Manners are... I would have thought the manners were either
Who said sorry when he said his mother gave him this face?
Bucky.
He points his sword at you, Bucky. It's too late for that. Roll initiative.
Dun, 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 dun.
Don't. Oh, was I not clicked on my character for my initiative?
Bucky with a nat 20 on initiative.
I rolled a 1.
Mine should have been 15. Wait,
He is magical.
Well, he's a paladin, so yeah.
What god do you serve there, Bucky?
Do you believe in
He's not
magic?
specifically religious.
Ah.
I forget because I was looking into gods. I don't remember which one I landed on.
Are you going devotion?
For oath, actually, we'll see. I'm looking at
We'll
glory.
see.
It's our job.
Ooh.
Paladin, you kind of have to be like.
No.
Technically, no in 5e.
It's their power comes from their oath.
Yeah.
It's their
Okay.
conviction.
Gotcha. The more you know.
Tsune would be just pleased as punch to have you.
Alright, so the staircase up is difficult terrain. You can hear people bustling about down there, trying to get up. But, Bucky, what do you do?
Bucky, I guess, is going to grab his shield and his Morning Star he carries around and run up here. And he's going to actually try to shove this guy back down the stairs.
Okay. Athletics?
Athletics.
Bucky, it is
Not
like
great.
shoving a brick wall. He got a 24 on his athletics check. He looks down where you just tried to shove him and looks back up towards you and kind of smiles at you. He's missing several teeth and his breath is awful.
There's one gross dude. That'll be his turn, though.
Okay. Alright, so this one is going to come up and shove past his bandit buddy, his leader. Get right up here with you, Tiberius. He is going to circle around you. As another
take
one
an
makes his
attack?
way up. What's that?
Do I get an attack when he...
You know what? In
Seems
that
like-
case, he probably would have come up here to you.
Ah.
And then we've got difficult terrain on the staircase, which does put 2 more bandits up on the stairs, but the rest are still coming.
I love you, ball bearings.
All right. Okay, Tiberius, a couple of crossbow bolts come twanging past you. You do have 3/4 cover. So you have a +5 to your AC. It's a 22 to hit.
That misses because it'd be a 23.
Awesome. Followed by a 21. Those both miss you. Now, Bucky, these 2 guys begin laying into you with scimitars. It is... Oh, geez, they're rolling insanely high. That is a 23, a critical hit, Bucky. Followed by a 19.
19 won't hit.
Okay.
So just the crit.
Oh, that room is locked. My bad.
I accidentally clicked it.
No, you're good. You're good. Not all of them are, but that one is. Okay, Bucky, that is going to be 7 slashing you take. What's your AC, Bucky? 19, and then you have a bonus to your shield, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
So that puts me at 20 total.
Cool. All right. That is all the bandits that are up here. Ferris, what do you do?
Ferris is going to raise his staff, and he's going to hit this one with a good old Ray of Frost.
Okay. That certainly hits.
Ooh.
Ooh, unfortunate damage.
Oh.
Damage is damage.
Mm-hmm. 1 less hit point.
And he's slowed down. Oh, and then he's going to... I think I'm going to take a couple of steps back. Just double check the distance there. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
And, oh, yeah.
Okay. Winnie.
Is gonna take a short bow shot at this guy here.
Okay.
That's cornered her buddy Bucky for a 22 to hit.
22 hits.
4 piercing.
Fantastic. Okay. Strikes him squarely in the arm. He turns and wheels towards you. You can see you've gotten his attention.
That is it.
Anna.
Anna is going to, from her position on the table, fire her longbow.
23. Who are you shooting
this
at?
Guy.
Got it.
The one in front of Tibbs.
5 piercing. Good stuff. Okay.
And then hop down and use the table to try to avoid any return fire.
Got it.
Bonus action, please. Shield of Faith, because we like to not die.
Okay. All right. So, Bucky, the leader, the guy who's been doing all the shouting with his jewel-encrusted eye patch, looks up towards you, holds a scimitar up towards you. You're gonna regret insulting my mother. Swings first. Jeez, 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
4 slashing, followed by a flat 20.
That'll also hit.
For 5 more slashing, Bucky.
Oof. That hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiberius.
Um,
He's rolling super high. Jesus.
Tiberius is going to start with this guy in front of him, and he's going to do his best to impale the fella.
Okay.
Ooh, that sucks. Given
9
the
does not
number
hit.
that-
Yeah, but good.
Given the number, then I may go ahead and just utilize that action surge and take another shot at him.
Okay.
Whew.
That does.
24. Yep.
Uh,
And you were shooting at... Who are you going at?
the guy directly ahead of me who
Got it.
I shot with an arrow.
All right. Yep. 7 takes him down.
One down. Tiberius does a little flourish with the sword and just looks at the rest and prepares for his next round.
All right, Bucky.
Bucky is going to take a swing at the big guy, the leader.
Okay.
A 14.
14 does not hit.
I don't know why it rolled damage.
It's probably a setting on your sheet. You can go over to the cog
Probably.
and auto roll damage
Yeah.
off. It'll be on the right side.
I'll take her with it. And then just as a bonus action, is going to shield of faith on himself as well. Because he's not a
Good
shield.
call.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
That'll be his turn. He's kind of pitched here.
Okay. Yep. So, bandits. Disengage action from this one. Moves away from Bucky. These guys are going to start flooding up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Disengage for the bonus action. You know what? This one will not bonus action disengage Bucky. Go ahead and take your opportunity.
22.
3, 4.
What route does he take to get?
The one that does not let you swing a sword at him. These guys coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get to there. 5, 6. 1,
So
2,
did that-
3, 4, 5, 6.
22 hit?
22 did hit.
That was 10.
Hell yeah. Fucks him up. Huge uppercuts smash right into his back. Sorry, I forget you're wielding a Morning Star, but you do get him. And he does rush up to Anna, kind of stumbling, swinging his scimitar as he goes. Anna, it's only an 11 to hit.
Miss.
Okay. Let's see. This one still gets an action. This one disengaged. Okay, Tiberius, more light crossbow shots heading your way. 4. A 10 and a crit. Jeez.
How much? Is it one of those that have 3/4 cover against?
3/4 cover would not negate a crit, unfortunately.
Okay.
Right. And it is a big crit. It is 16 points of piercing.
Jesus.
Ferris.
Alright, Ferris is going to do another ray of frost at this one. Holds up his staff. And kapow.
17 hits. 2
Oh,
cold.
come on. A little better.
A little better.
Just a little. Just a smidge. And then he is gonna take a couple of steps over on the other side of her here, because I'm don't have much for defenses. And that'll do it.
Winnie, seeing her friends get hurt, is gonna bonus action shift. So I
Okay.
also get, let me put it up. So I get 50 feet of movement now, and I also get 4 temporary hit points. I'm gonna shoot another crossbow at this guy.
Oh,
For
yeah.
So 8
All
damage.
right. 8 does take him down.
Next. And I train another arrow in my bow.
Nice. All right, Anna.
So with the guy right in front of her face, seeing Tibbs go down, she's going to let out a really, like,
I'm not.
I'm not down, but you just got hurt, so she's pissed. Dex save on the guy in front of me who is
Dexterity
wounded.
saving throw result is an 11.
He takes 1 point of radiant damage.
And dies.
Just enough.
Just enough,
Level
indeed.
2 is rough.
Is it possible to, like, I don't know, do an intimidation roll maybe? Like, she just, like,
Anytime that you
like,
want to
stick her
do,
finger at this guy, he died.
anytime that you want to make a skill check to affect how the combat is going, that will take a full action to do.
Oh, okay. Right on. Let me see real quick if I have anything bonusy. Sorry.
Okay.
Not at this time.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kick his dead body off my table.
Yeah. This guy's gonna look around. Getting more of your sailors killed, Tarina. Shoulda known. He looks towards you, Bucky. You should stay out of our way. Swings his scimitar at you. It's a 20 to hit, Bucky.
Misses.
Fantastic. Cool. Second
that shield
swing.
saved me.
I'm glad I enhanced that.
Good call.
Yeah.
It's only a 16 on the second swing.
Miss.
He is going to move up to here to get out of the way of his other guys getting up here. Tiberius.
Tipped.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bonus action for my second wind feature.
Okay.
So we get D10 plus 2.
Nice.
Plus 10.
Helpful.
Really
Helpful.
And I'm going to take a swing at the fellow in front of me.
20 hits.
Nice.
Ooh, huge damage.
For 11 points of damage.
One shot, one kill.
And with that, I'm going to position myself right here. Oh no, I like the 3/4 cover a little too much.
They will make it up the stairs by their next turn. You can tell that from where you're standing and how they're positioned.
Okay. Then, in that case, I'm going to be here to be annoying where they at least have to burn a
Right.
disengage. I can not get smacked.
Yeah. Anything else?
That'll do it.
And that will bring us to Bucky.
He's kind of pinched in a corner here, so he's just going to take another swing at their leader. For a 16.
16. Bucky. He's looking over towards Tarina, and as soon as you begin to swipe, he looks over towards you a split second, raises up his sword, and just smacks your Morningstar away, using his parry reaction to up his AC to 17.
That sucks. That's all I got. I know. That's all I got. That'll be turn.
Okay. Brings us to his bandit buddies. And this guy's gonna look over and what's he gonna do? Okay. He's gonna look over and say, he's not even gonna say anything, he's just gonna look at this guy and just glare and point at Tarina. This guy's gonna take a step forward and take a light crossbow shot at Tarina. And hit for 4 piercing. Tarina. Ah! Damn it! She looks up towards you. You sure I can't just go back there? Yanks the crossbow bolt out, and without even waiting for a response, opens the door.
Don't move.
She throws the crossbow bolt at you, Winnie. It just, like, flat side hits you on the thigh. A little
Ow.
bloody. Alright. That does bring us to the others. Tiberius, one of them is swinging a scimitar at you. 23 to hit. Wow, they're rolling so high. For 8 slashing, Tiberius. The next one behind you takes a light crossbow shot at you. That is an 8 to hit. I'm sure that misses.
Yeah, that misses.
Brings us to Ferris.
Alright. Ferris will... Oops. He's going to take a step forward, or he's going to hop up on the table here in front of Tarina.
Okay.
And he is going to... Back to that. Hit another Ray of Frost over at this one.
17 hits. 5 cold. Good stuff.
That's
Nice.
a lot better. And yeah, still at the point where I can't really do anything. So.
Winnie.
Okay, Winnie's gonna look at Tarina before anything and go, "What does he mean, your sailors?"
She kind of does one of those, like, inhale through her teeth and, like, the scrunchy smile. They may or may not have been my crew.
Front of the door to block her from getting in, and I'm gonna shoot a crossbow at the leader. Or a short bow at the leader, not crossbow, I'm sorry.
Got it. 20 hits.
6 damage.
Alright.
You really have some explaining to do.
So if it makes you feel any better, they're really, really bad men.
And you're a really, really bad woman.
Granted.
And I'm gonna slam the door shut.
The fight for the door.
Winnie is feisty today.
Winnie's always feisty. The shock is over. Winnie is pissed now. That's it for my turn.
Got it. Anna.
Anna is fairly irritated and would like to cast Guiding Bolt at the leader.
Yeah. Oh.
Sessional.
Yeah. God, Guiding Bolt crits are so huge. Jeez. Okay, roll it up. Jesus! What the fuck? Reroll that 1 in there. Oh, you get two. You get 2 more 6s. So roll 2d6. You got 2 1s.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's insane. Okay, so 4 and a 2. So we take out 2. So add 4 to the total. So we are looking at, what is that? 29, 33 points. So Anna,
she just ignites. She fucking ignites on top of the table.
Fantastic.
Black fire right at him.
Awesome. So, when you do a guiding bolt, do you like swing your sword? Is it like you load up a special arrow into your bow? What is that? What do you do?
Okay, so when Anna does it, it literally looks like zero gravity. Her hair just starts to flame up and like defy gravity.
Nice.
And she just brings her hands together like a clap.
And a bolt just...
Yes.
Fantastic. So, as you clap your hands together, the bolt lances out towards him. It strikes him cleanly in the chest and blows him straight through this door. Crashes into the bed back there. Ah! Goes prone. Huge damage. 33 damage.
This is your opportunity to stand down.
He's still like... wrapped up in blankets, bed busted up beneath him. He's getting up. He's like, oh, ugh. See what he does on his turn. Actually, Anna, I will let you make a bonus action to make an intimidation check with that, since you did just literally kick the shit out of him.
Intimidation.
Nice.
Nothing.
He's like pulling, he's like trying to get to his feet, pulling the bed sheets off of himself. He's like, I'm gonna gut you! Ugh! Douse you! Fire! Water! Ah! He's trying to figure out words. He's very, very trying to threaten you, but it's not working.
In a daze.
Right. Okay. I'm assuming you're done?
Yes, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Get down on the table.
It's gotta have a lot of balls to basically just watch somebody go Super Saiyan and hit him with a Kamehameha and still be like, I'm gonna get you.
He is exceptionally pissed at the scowl.
He also has a very poor temper, so he is gonna rush right past Bucky. Half his movement to get up, so 10.
Hit him, Bucky. Hit him.
And that actually is an advantage.
Yeah.
Because of the guy bolt.
Ooh, that's an opportunity attack at advantage.
Yep. In a blind rage. Oh my god.
So you know what has to happen here, right? Like, I've got a smite on this.
Yeah. Reroll any ones you roll?
Go Team Venture.
Right? So that's just one.
Do it again. Yep, there you go.
There we go.
So add 2 to the total of whatever that is there.
13 and 14 is 27, 29 total.
Okay. So Bucky, this man charges past you in a blind rage, his scimitar raised up over his head as he just does a full-on sprint at Anna. Roaring as he goes. How do you take him down?
I think he swings low and takes out the knee
Oh.
and just sends him flying.
Alright. He goes flying and slides through the ground right here and just stops face up. Still just a wicked scowl through his one eye. And then the face slacks. And he dies. Tarina. Woo! Alright.
Who's gonna pay for all of this?
When he looks at Torino.
She's like, they're insured, it's fine.
There's insurance in this time?
Alright. Yeah.
The insurance is expensive in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Alright, everybody. So with that, the remaining 2 guys, Tiberius, they see what just happened to their guy, and the remaining 3, they all kind of like look over towards Tarina and say, "You'll get what's coming to you later." And they kind of put their hands up and start backing up down the stairs.
Pick up my ball bearings, please.
As you say that, you hear, "What?" Hwah! Falls down the stairs. Do you guys let him leave?
I mean,
Yeah.
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 Alright, everybody. With that, we are going to drop out of initiative.
And turn on Tarina.
Yeah. As soon as they leave, I take out my longsword and I put it right underneath Tarina's chin.
Ho, ho, ho. Hey now, I didn't do anything to you all. I was just looking for a friendly game. Nothing, no harm, no foul. Y'all
Of
still
course.
get information, right?
Do you mind if I see those dice right quick?
Sure. And she pulls out the dice from her left hand. When you
No.
see her.
The other dice.
You know, I know just a little bit about playing dice because, well, it's something I've done before, and he just starts dropping them on the table, seeing what they come up each time.
They come up. 2 of them always come up as 6s. One of them always comes up as a 4.
How quaint that they're weighted in such a way.
She rolls her eyes. She says, "What are you? The morality police or something? Just trying to make some money."
The thing is, it just strikes me as odd because, realistically speaking, if you actually set up at a gambling establishment, there tends to be ways to set it up where, long term, whoever is playing for the house always winds up having a profit. Just seems excessive to me. And he hands them back.
Do you want in on the deal? You seem like you have a head for these kind of things.
Not in
Smiles.
particular.
I think it's time for you to start talking. Where's the bathhouse?
Right. It's in the upper city. It's about a few blocks from the Van Thamper Villa itself, and she gives you detailed directions on how to get there.
And the gold.
There was no gold. Bucky and Tiberius, if you look for the gold that you won off of her, there is nothing there.
Wait, what?
Remove any gold that you won from her from your inventory.
So that's my 5 silver pieces. Crap.
Well,
Fool's gold.
I think
Literally.
Wait, what about the gold that I lost?
You lost it to
Oh, I have
Bucky.
that.
So
Crap.
It's mine now. I'll give you your gold back.
Her whole deal is to let people win the first few games and then bust out her loaded dice and get it all back. That's her racket.
All right, I'm back to 5 and 5. Woo!
And then the gold that she quote unquote loses is enchanted. It's fake. She has a thing that basically makes it.
If I rolled better on that first perception check, I would have seen that it was fake.
You would have. Yep.
Damn it! I knew she was sussy bananas when I met her.
I knew exactly what this was.
I think it would be in your best interest to take us to the bathhouse, personally.
Any other information that you might know?
I'll certainly take you there, but I'm not going down wherever they are. I don't know if you saw what just happened, but I'm not exactly a...
No, that's understandable.
Thank you.
We don't need a liability. We just want a guide.
Be more than happy to take you to the bathhouse. I'm assuming you all have permission from Zoj to go into the upper city?
We have permission from Zoj to do whatever the hell we want.
Sounds about right. She looks around and says, "So are we leaving now, or?"
Cure wounds to +5 on Tibbs.
She kind of...
Yeah, I'll cure wounds on Bucky.
She says, I should warn you, I wouldn't recommend going at night. I've seen some... Well, to be honest, some rather spooky characters wandering around in there in the evening hours. During the daytime, it's just a couple of workers. Easy enough to get past.
What time is it currently in game?
It is late evening. Probably like 8, 9.
Well, getting a lay of the land first before we look at it probably would be wise.
Check it out and go down officially tomorrow.
At night, whenever they have the spooky crap happening.
Whatever y'all want to do.
I think we could
if nothing else,
hang out nearby and kind of stake it out for at least later into the night.
She looks up and says, so you all have a mind for espionage, do you? The stealthy types? She says as she looks towards the armored paladin.
I'm on fire. He's the least of our problems.
Go unnoticed whenever they need to. Looks towards Anna.
If nothing else, I would like for us to at least rest for a little bit so I can tend to my own wounds.
So them be the magic words. Would you all like to take a long rest before you head over there?
Yes.
And go in the morning?
If nothing else, I'd at least like a short one.
Okay. Long rest sounds good to me.
So, since you all would like to long rest, why don't you all go ahead and level up to 3?
Ooh!
Ooh, right.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, level 3. So I would just like to put this into perspective a little bit. That fight was quote-unquote designed for level 1.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these
went really well.
Some of these adventures I've noticed have stuff that does not make sense.
Oh, it's so bad. Makes no sense.
It's just super swingy at level 1. I guess I could see it working if everybody just focus fired one at a time.
Right. The choke point at the staircase makes it easier, but like if that fight happens downstairs, everyone's just gonna fucking die.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, with how hard they were hitting, they would drop most level 1 characters in one shot.
Yep, especially the pirate captain. Speaking of which, Tarina would ask if you all are going to loot that pirate or if she should.
No, I would gladly take this.
Yeah, Winnie.
So I like to think that Tarina kind of like, well, let's see. Roll. What's your passive perception, Winnie? Or you know what, you are watching her like a hawk, I'm sure. So
yeah, and I still have my hold on, I'm finishing leveling up. Okay, I still have my sword on her.
Okay.
You said perception?
Yeah, perception.
I get level 2s.
10.
No, just Winnie. Okay. as you're kind of looking over everything, you look down and Tarina's gone, and she's just kind of going through the pirate captain's pockets and stuff.
Drop it.
Fine, and she just drops the eye patch.
I flick a gold at her.
She catches it.
That's all you get.
Rolls her eyes.
You tricked my friends.
Tried to trick your friends.
Almost got 2 of them killed. Do you know what we've been through in the last 2 days? Do you understand that our home is gone? We don't have time for your games, ma'am.
You see,
some of us have duties.
You see a tear start to form in her eye. She holds her hand up to her throat, starts to tremble a bit. I hadn't.
This is bullshit.
Make an insight check.
Give me 1 sec to finish leveling up.
No, you're good. She's full of shit. She starts laughing just a couple seconds later.
I put my sword right back at her throat.
She immediately shuts up.
Don't fuck with me, ma'am. I'm not in the mood for this.
You see
like
something
how you added the ma'am.
Change in her eyes, something she sees in Winnie, and she stiffens, and you see all the joke leave her face, and she kind of just nods at you slowly. One slow nod.
I go back to looting the body.
Alright. So, this guy's name is Deadeye. As you're going through it, Tarina would kind of nervously just start talking, and she would tell you about how this guy used to be the first mate of a pirate crew of a ship known as the Uncivil Serpent, docked over in the bay right now. He led a mutiny, murdered their old captain, and so Tarina didn't like that much, so she gave them some bad directions and tried to get them shipwrecked. Last she saw them, they were hung up on a reef with about 1,000 sharks circling around them, and their ship sinking. So she thought she was good, but apparently not.
And Tarina, what was she to this crew?
She was just a member of the crew. She was brought on by the captain that they killed, and wanted to get back at him, so screwed him over, tried to get him killed.
And it was the Uncivil Serpent?
The Uncivil Serpent.
Serpent. Okay.
She says, judging by the amount of people here, there's probably only about 10 people left on the boat right now. So, Deadeye had a pouch with 32 gold and 15 silver. He also wears 2 gold necklaces worth 25 gold pieces each here. How about I just go ahead and do this? That'll make it a little easier for you there, Mel.
Cool. Black and gold ring with a white pearl set in it. Alright, let me write it all down.
Yep. And then there were 4 dead banditos. So let's go ahead and have 4 d6s rolled.
I'll roll a d6.
I will also roll 1.
I will also roll 1.
Ooh.
I guess I'll roll the last one.
Do it.
That is how many silver is on each bandit.
Total of 15?
15 silver.
30 silver total that we found.
Now, do we have to go through selling these, or can we just, like, the ring and the necklaces?
The ring and the necklaces. Yeah, we'll need to find a place to sell those.
Okay.
You know what?
You know what? Never mind. Just add it to your totals. That's fine. Because you can use those for trade, so that's perfectly fine. So just add it to the gold totals.
So it's safe to say that I don't have to use detect magic on them.
I mean, it's never safe to say anything.
Yeah, let's
take
do
10
it.
minutes.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have the spell prepared, you can do a ritual casting and.
Yeah, it's one of I've only got 2, or no, I've got 4 prepared.
And then, do you guys want to have like a party gold going for like things like diamonds and everything?
I do have to we can convert it to gold if it splits up evenly. It may be beneficial to spread it out, just because, like in cases like this where someone had to have the gold on them to gamble it.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I also am perfectly open if we need to pull some of it for party resources, like, well, obviously, Ferris at some point wants to have that homunculus servant as a servant, and he'll need a certain amount of gold in order to do that.
Yeah.
That's
Actually, how much do I need to do? Was it 100 or? I think it was 100.
Well, we got
25
that's
gold.
170. Well, 175 plus 32. If you
Hey,
add it all up.
And then
Sean,
30...
how do I get in? I'm so sorry. How do I get in and fix a spell thing? Because I accidentally did a thing. I need to fix it.
Okay. Stand by. What exactly happened?
I
In your level up.
No, it's I accidentally have produce flame twice because I added it in my spells as the selection, but I get it automatically.
Yep.
So I just need a new cantrip.
Okay. Easy enough. When you finish with your level up, go ahead and hit the apply changes button. Let me know when you got that done.
It is done.
Okay. Weird. It's still showing me as you're in the character mancer. Okay, there we go. So it's real easy. You're gonna go. I'm gonna. Do you have your sheet open?
Yes.
So you go over your spells list, and you have produce flame on there twice. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hit the little lock button in the bottom right of that. That changes, and then you just delete the new one. Delete the extra one.
Oh, thank you. How do I put my?
And you want to get a new one, right?
Yes, I want one of the. I think it's Chill Touch is a cantrip.
Chill Touch is a good cantrip. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna type in Chill Touch into the compendium search under the one where it says spells, and you drag and drop it.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No worries, all good.
I didn't mean to interrupt you guys. We're talking about gold.
No problem.
Oh, you're fine.
And Ferris is detecting magic. Did you get the Chill Touch on there? I'm not seeing it populate on your sheet yet.
No, I can't. My sheet's being. I can only. The words are only coming up if I pop it out, but I can't put it in there if I pop it out.
I do.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
No problem. Okay, so Ferris, you detect no magic on any of the pirates, on any of the bandits. However, you do detect a very strong source of magic coming from that locked door to the north. And as you kind of look up and look over towards it, the door swings open, and it points at his ears, points back into the room towards back, slams the staff on the ground a couple times, slams the door.
It's amazing.
Okay.
What? I think we interrupted his beauty sleep.
I have questions. You said there was a staff in there?
There's definitely magic coming from that room, and that thing was carrying a big old staff.
Pissed off a wizard.
I don't think we should go in there.
Agreed. I really don't think we should go.
It's rather rude.
But he might be able to teach us stuff. Yeah, okay, fine. I gotta do my level up and figure out. How'd you figure out that gold for everybody?
Basically
41 each.
41
and then
each.
you can get 2 extra.
Yeah.
Okay.
41 with 2 pieces left over. I figure since Ferris had lost some, he might want that, and 6 silver apiece.
I mean, I'll give Ferris an extra 20 towards his homunculus.
Like I said, I don't mind tossing a little extra in there too if he needs it.
Okay, that'll put me at you said 20. Hang on a second. So that'll put that at 69, and then I gotta factor in the silver as well before I start getting any more gold from anybody. How much silver was that? 6 each.
Yeah.
Is that included the what we rolled?
Yes. Because we rolled for 15 and we had 15 that was found on the captain.
Okay.
Skuna comes stomping up the stairs. She kind of has to like squeeze up the stairwell.
Do you have my ball bearings?
She lifts up her foot and they're just like several indented into it. She brushes them off.
Thank you.
Mess.
Hey, we cleaned up the mess. The mess came in here itching for a fight.
She holds up a wand and starts waving it around. All the blood starts to come up off the floors. Furniture rebuilds. No mess. She stomps back down the stairs.
I want that wand.
Me too.
Alright, I'm gonna go do my level up.
We rest here.
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
What's
up? Is there a difference between TCE or ERLW for the books that I'm using for my subclass?
Don't use the ERLW stuff. Whenever you can avoid it. That's Eberron Rising from the last war.
Gotcha. Okay. So TCE it is. Yeah. Gotcha.
Now, I have a question for level up.
Mm-hmm.
Is Oath of Glory okay?
Oath of Glory? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It's from it's from, what, Theros?
Oh, yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's printed in a 5e book, it's almost all, it's always okay. I'm never going to say no to something printed that's like in an official 5e book. Speaking of Theros, I would love to run a campaign in the Theros setting one day. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Magic the Gathering. I know you are, right, Austin?
I was about to say, like, Theros Magic?
Yeah, Magic the Gathering. Theros and Ravnica.
I would love to do a Ravnica one. I actually didn't really care for the Theros set that much, but Ravnica, I would shit a brick for.
Sorry, that was funny.
I'm just real happy that Winnie is now proficient with longsword.
Nice. You get to use your katana.
Yeah. That's a huge power spike for you.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. How's everyone's level up going? Some of you get subclasses and stuff now, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I got my subclass.
Nice. So Winnie, you went with the Kensai, right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, what cool new abilities did you get besides your sword proficiency?
I got Agile Parry, Kensai weapons,
Nice.
which I can, I get one melee weapon and one range weapon, and I can become a monk weapon. And then Kensai Shot, where I get plus 1d4 extra damage when I use my short bow as a bonus action.
Nice. Good stuff. All right, and Ferris, you get your subclass now, right?
Yeah, I got a question. Agency related. I don't really know what I'm saying there. So it says the killer spells, you always have certain spells prepared after you reach a certain level in this class, as shown in our tell spells table. These spells count as artificer spells for you, but they don't count against the number of artificer spells you prepare. And at 3rd level, I get Shield and Thunder Wave. So since I already had Shield picked from beforehand, do I just replace that with a different spell then? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
I also get a key fueled attack.
Nice.
And did I say agile parry? Yes, I did. But deflect missiles and key fueled attack as well. So, not as many key points as I need at this moment, but it'll work with 3.
Good stuff. And then Bucky, you got your oath, right? You went with Oath of Glory.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen that one before.
Yeah, I hadn't either until I started looking into options. But it's actually
Mythic
really
Odysseys
fitting
of
for
Theros.
wants to be a big hero.
Ah, nice.
Aw.
That gives him Guiding Bolt and Heroism, always prepared.
Oh, that's legit.
Yeah. And then gets his Channel Divinity. He can either use a bonus action to give just himself advantage on strength and dexterity checks for 10 minutes.
Nice, nice.
Or after dealing damage with a smite, can use a bonus action to give out temporary hit points to himself and his allies.
Nice. After a smite?
After a smite, yeah.
That's
you can use
fucking
Channel
cool.
Divinity to give out 2d8 plus to your level.
Then to how many
That's so
people?
neat.
That's out.
Inspiring Smite. I'm
split
going to
up.
read it out real quick. So immediately after you deal damage to a creature with your Divine Smite feature, you can use your Channel Divinity as a bonus action and distribute temporary hit points to creatures of your choice. Just 2 creatures of your choice within 30 feet of you, which can include you. Total number of temporary hit points is 2d8 plus your level. That is big. That's one of the better. That's one of the
That's
better
huge.
Channel Divinities I've seen.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's
Real
really good.
That's real good. That's a fight changer right there. Like, it really is. Like, imagine
Uh-huh.
you use that, and you have like 2 or 3 people down.
Well, it's only temporary.
Oh, so temporary is not the one that gets you back up.
It won't pick people up,
Okay.
but still, like, that could be
It could keep you up.
12,
Right.
13 hit points split between me and, like, Tiberius if we're in the middle of
Right?
a choke
Well,
point
if
like
we're-
that.
That's on average, too. A high roll can do even more. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiberius, what are you doing?
I took the Samurai subclass.
Nice. Very cool.
Pretty simple. 3 times per long rest, I can give myself 5 temporary hit points
Nice.
and advantage on my weapon attacks for that turn.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah, that's not small. That's definitely helpful.
It's not as cool as, hey, here's 2d8 plus however many levels I have to everyone in 30 feet of me, but
It's still,
it's not bad.
yeah,
It's not bad.
not bad at all.
Particularly if you get to a few higher levels where you have 1 or 2
More
extra
attacks,
attacks.
yep.
It's better.
Nice.
Well, I can also
But
only
if
do
you're
that, I
really
think,
swing through-
once.
Right, once
Yeah.
per rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get 3 hits of mine
Nice.
per rest, so that's kind of...
Yeah, that's good. All right.
And truth be told, really why I kind of snagged it is a later feature that comes online for it. If I recall right, I think it's at level 7. You get proficiency in Wisdom saving.
Oh, that
Now,
is
and the
huge. Yeah.
Thing is, I already have Strength and Con. It's took Variant Human. I took Resilient Dex. So 4 out of the 6.
Nice.
Oof.
Good
It's gonna
stuff.
be really hard to actually hurt.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, assuming he survives long enough.
Oh,
There's many games between now and that level.
Right.
that is true.
Right. And what about you, Anna? What'd you get at your level 3?
Level 2 spells.
Nice. Always good. Yeah. Being able to cast spiritual weapon is huge for your action economy.
Yes. I also took Hold Person and Silence.
Hold Person is a very underutilized spell.
That and Silence are my favorite.
Yeah.
I
Silence
love the
shuts down
silence spell.
spellcasters, which is great.
Yep.
And yeah, Hold Person, like one of my favorite things to do in the Prince of the Apocalypse game is to hold person right before somebody with big damage, right before
Yes.
right before Wigney goes up and stabs somebody. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
if you
just,
can
like,
stick Hold
I
Person,
can imagine how
it just
terrifying that must be to just be paralyzed as a little murderous gnome walks up to you with a knife.
What about a little murderous gnome on top of a warforged?
The Power Tower.
Good stuff.
Oh,
Well, all right, everybody. I think we are going to go ahead and call it a session here, and when we come back next week, we will head towards the Van Thamper bathhouse.
I needed this. This was great.